Hello, and this is Saturday Morning Recorded, and I'm your host, Cohen Vogel. And for today's special guest, that's my friend, Dr. Pirlet. And for your weekly tidbit of news, it's that puffins itch themselves with tiny twigs. Here's our special guest. For this week's special guest, it's my friend, Dr. Pirlet. Now, you used to work at Aberdeen Central, and now you're a professor at Northern State University. So, how did you become a professor?
So I went about it a little bit differently than others. Rather than going straight from like a master's degree program into a PhD, I actually took classes online while I was teaching high school. And it took me about 5 years. And in that time, I added to my family by twofold with 2 more kids. But it was one of the most rewarding experiences studying education while teaching in the classroom, because I got to use the stuff that we were talking about sometimes the next day or later on that day.
And then, what classes do you teach currently?
So currently I teach 2 sections of educational technology for classroom use. So teaching teachers how to use technology appropriately, efficiently, effectively. I teach elementary social studies methods. So how can we teach social studies in elementary schools? And then I have a section of human relations, which is a lot more of kind of understanding the students that might be in a classroom and how to better include them in classroom content.
Now, when you worked at Aberdeen Central, you were pretty known around there for using the game Minecraft in the classroom. So how did you go about doing that, and what was your favorite part?
So that was a long process that took probably 2 years to develop, and really a big part of why I did it was based off of conversations with past students about how it could be used in economics primarily, and got a really good couple of students that had some insights on how to do it. Then as technology became available, I spent a summer developing the idea, and then eventually created a world in Minecraft with different countries that students had to sit in or stay in while they built their civilizations, with individual roles for each student, and then they specialized in certain resources and had to trade. And the last time I ran that simulation, they had students forming kind of quasi-religions within the game, and some kind of lent more towards having maybe a more centralized form of government, like a dictator deciding things, and others were very much equal or egalitarian between each. So my favorite part of doing that was simply being able to take abstract concepts in economics and government and things, and being able to play them out for students. So one of my favorite stories that I tell a lot of teachers and others, but in Minecraft you can create simple machines using a process, redstone circuits and things. I would always have a wide breadth or a wide group of students, different factors of how familiar they were with the game. And this one time I had one student that didn't know the game very much, but she was part of it, and she understood the usefulness of being part of the simulation. And all she did every class period when they had time to produce, she was harvesting and planting vegetables. And towards the end of the simulation, her group members who were more experienced in Minecraft created a machine that did that for her. And she came up to me and she was all concerned, and she said, Mr. Pirlet, I don't know what to do. And I said, why? And she goes, technology took my job, I'm unemployed now. And for her to make that realization, and I hope she never actually is unemployed, it was pretty cool to see her kind of see that in a situation that doesn't have any real long-term consequences for her.
And for your final question, it will be, what is your favorite book?
My favorite book, I have a lot of them. Right now my son and I are working through the Redwall series, So we're in book 3 of that. So we're going to be moving on to 4 pretty soon. So I think that's my favorite series so far.
Wow. I like that series too. Thank you. Here's 30 Seconds of Nature. Here's Eva's word of the week.
Abysmal.
Here's the Take 5. Here's this week's Take 5. For your first question, are you a morning person or night person?
Morning person.
How do you like your eggs?
Scrambled.
What's your favorite sitcom?
The Office.
Have you ever peed in the pool?
Yes.
And then, if you could help an endangered species of your choice, what would you pick?
California Condor. Because they're huge. I love them.
Thank you. Now, the Californian condor is a wonderful animal to pick, even though some people say it may be an ugly bird.
Well, the California condor is a magnificent animal, huge, enormous, endangered, but just ugly.
It still is a pretty cool bird. I mean, has a massive wingspan, and that's just awesome. So you should definitely go help out the Californian condor. For my book recommendation this week, I'm going to be recommending this book, The Firekeeper by J.C. Cervantes. I have no idea, but that may be it. J.C. Cervantes. Yeah, you should definitely check it out. It's a good book. Now, I had multiple adventures this week, one of which was my Panda Paddle. And I would like to thank all of you who helped me reach my goal. I'm here out at Wiley Lake doing my Panda Paddle, and I would like to thank all of those of you who have let me reach my goal and beyond. I really appreciate it, and thank you so much for helping out this fundraiser that goes to all wild places and conservation efforts, and thank you so much. And yes, thank you so very much for donating, and yeah. My other adventure was me starting high school. So, that was pretty cool. I'm your host, Cohen Vogel, signing off.